So we good to go? Okay, so prepare for the meditation.
I'm going to mute.
Okay, good morning everyone, and you are very welcome to participate our Sunday morning meditation and Dhamma discussion. So nowadays we are learning one of the greatest sutta come from the Digha Nikaya long discourses. That is a major sutta explaining Buddhist meditation practices. This sutta almost cover all the type of meditation in Buddhism. So meditation is the major practice achieve a Buddhist goal. In Buddhism, the special of the Buddhism is meditation. The achieving higher purpose, the praying or just asking is not enough in Buddhism. It almost doesn't work. In Buddhist way of liberation, freedom is practice. The Satipatthana, the Sutta we are discussing, Satipatthana, establishing mindfulness. That whole practice, the whole explanation in Buddhist way is practicing, cultivating, developing. Because the Buddhism recognizes the mind, and Buddhism recognizes the wisdom. It's two different things, but interconnected. Mind and wisdom is interconnected, but it's different. But it is interconnected. The mind we can differently develop, and wisdom we can differently develop. So, to develop that mind and wisdom is the major way is meditation practice. So, in somehow, some chanting, repeating something, we can quiet the mind and concentrate somewhat, and calm and relaxing the mind with body is quite possible, but it is some degree of calmness, peacefulness. But the deepest calmness, peacefulness come through the deep concentration, deep mindfulness, deep practice. So without that development of the mind or wisdom, so liberation or freedom, enlightenment is not quite possible. So then let's uh, begin our meditation practice. Nowadays we are learning about the Dhammanupassana in Satipatthana Sutta, contemplation on Dhamma. In that section, and we are just learning the Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths: suffering, arising of suffering, cessation of suffering, and end of the suffering. The path to end of the suffering. That's the Four Noble Truths. That's what we're learning and discussing these days. So, Vipassana meditation, insight meditation, is quite focused to see the reality and true nature, understand our own truth, our own reality. When we are able to understand our own reality, then we will understand the whole external world as it is. So, to do that, and we have to find out what is the reality is. What is the reality is? It is impermanent and unsatisfactoriness and non-self. And that is the reality and true nature, impermanent, subject to change. It is hard to believe sometimes. The subject to change is everything is impermanent, temporary. Sometimes we are scared to think that, and we hesitate to think, right? But we experience it all the time in our life. We experience it. Then we live with this reality. But in the ordinary way, we don't think about it, we don't focus, and we don't get the good understanding about that reality. So, this Vipassana meditation helps us to reveal that reality, understand it, realize it. When we realize that reality, then we not trembling, shaking, afraid to see that, to face to it, accept it, to live with it. How much we can understand this reality, that much we can live happily and peacefully. Then happiness and peace depends on this understanding. That's why Buddha never worried, never sad, never cried, never upset, never disappointed, never suffered. As well all the Arahants, because they live in the reality and true that dispel the ignorance and reveal the truth and freed them and freed their mind. So then let's meditate on this Vipassana to understand the Dhamma we are going to learn today is the this very interestingly Buddha explained in this sutta. How could we understand this nature? In mostly this vipassana meditation focus into ourselves to understand our own reality. This whole world is in this 6 feet size body, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. So this is the world. This is the internal world, and then that's how we. That's the in through this internal world we experience the external world. So internal world and external world are the same nature, under the same reality. So let's meditate to find out the reality, what is the reality and true nature of, uh, of me and reality of all external world. Okay, you may gently close your eyes and keep your back straight. And then take deep breath and slowly release. And again take deep breath and slowly release. Now pay attention to the silence and by focusing this silence, quiet your mind, relax your mind. Enjoy the relaxation and peacefulness in this silence. Then now you may try to find out if you felt any suffer, any worried or sad, stress, and what's the reason for that stress, for that suffer, for that worry. That suffer arises because something was changed, or it could be attachment. When we have attached to something and we are happy and we enjoy it as it, it is the same. But when it is changed, then we become stressed and upset and sad and suffer. Then you may keep saying yourself, everything is impermanent and temporary. Everything is subject to change. When it is changed, nothing to worry, nothing to sad, nothing to upset, nothing to become stress. And that is the reality. Everything is impermanent and temporary, subject to change. No matter how much I love or I attach to it, I crave into it, I desire into it, but it is the nature, but the nature is the impermanent and temporary and subject to change. Keep repeating like a mantra until you become realizing it. It's come to clear to you. Everything is impermanent, temporary, subject to change. When it is changed, nothing to worry, nothing to sad, nothing to upset, and nothing to become stressed. So now you open your mind to see this reality and true nature. Don't afraid to see the reality and truth. Open your mind, freed your mind and see. I see this whole world, everything in this world through my eyes. So that's how I see this world. After seeing, I get attached. But these eyes show me the world and everything, beauty and ugly and everything. But these eyes are temporary, impermanent, subject to change. It is not able to stop. This changing, not able to stop. There's no way to avoid it. There are no escape from this reality. These eyes, born, existing with changing, and will disappear. That's the reality. It is impermanent, temporary. Focus into yourself. Look into your beautiful eyes and see the reality. It is temporary. When these eyes changed, when these eyes get sick, ill, nothing to be upset, nothing to be worried, sad, and suffer, because that's the reality and true nature. It is temporary, changing. The enlightenment is means to open our minds into this reality, into this true nature. Then we live in this reality without upset, without being sad, worried, stressed. Because this reality and myself is the same. When we stay away from the reality, behind from the reality without accepting it, that's the problem. So then you open your mind into this true nature. Then whole world I see. Everything in the world I see, beautiful thing in the world. So much I loved the things I loved, I attached, I desired, I craving. But the reality of those whole thing is impermanent, temporary, and changing, disappearing. Keep thinking and thinking and thinking into this reality. When those things changed, what I see in this world, I loved, I attached, when they become change, when they disappearing, nothing to worry, nothing to sad, nothing to upset or suffer, because it is the reality and it is not not able to avoid it, stop it. It's the nature. So what is impermanent and temporary? When they changed, I accept it. I understand it. Not become stressed, not become worried and suffer. I live as in same way, happily and peacefully, without stress, because I understand the nature of these eyes, reality of these eyes, and the reality whatever I see in the world. And these eyes and all forms in the world are impermanent, temporary, subject to change. In the same way, and these ears, and look into your ears, look into the reality of your ears, look into the nature of your ears. It is impermanent, temporary, and subject to change. Then whatever sounds we hear, the beautiful sounds, and a scary sound, whatever it is, the sound we hear is arising and ceasing, arising and ceasing. It's impermanent, temporary. When it is changed, whatever sounds we loved, we attached, when it is changed, nothing to worry and sad and suffer. These ears are impermanent, temporary, arising and disappearing. And all the sounds is arising and disappearing. Then I live enjoying it, not worrying, not upset, not depression when it is changed. I live happily and peacefully with this. Then keep meditating about your nose and smell, and your tongue and taste, and your body and all touches, and mind and thoughts. These internal senses and external objects, internal world and external world, are impermanent, temporary, arising and ceasing. When it is changed, nothing to worry, nothing to sad, nothing to suffer, nothing to stress. I live happily and peacefully with this reality and true nature, accepting it. Keep thinking and thinking into this deep reality. Okay, now you come into your sitting position. And then take your palms together and say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, so then take a few minutes break. Then we're going to have a wonderful Dhamma discussion today.
I don't think we can see you, Bhante.
You can't see.
Cameraman
You can't see me.
can't see you.
Oh man. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I didn't open the camera. Didn't I?
I saw you in the beginning, but then some point your camera went off.
Impermanent.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Let's see now.
Who is the Anne Mary Wilhelm? Anne Mary Wilhelm. Are you there, Anne? Sherry Jones. Hi, Sherry.
Hello,
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah, this is your first time here?
Yes,
Where are you from? Where
Michigan.
you live?
Michigan?
Michigan. Oh, wow. That's the coolest area, I think, in America. Yeah.
It's very cold and rainy today.
Yeah. So, we are welcome to our meditation group.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, how did you know this session?
I had listened to some talks by Bhikkhu Bodhi, and I signed up for the subscription mailing list. So they sent the invite, and I wanted to attend.
Okay. So yeah, thank you for joining and welcome. So we have a Marian after for a while here again. Marian Dawn. Archana Garden, Archana Garden. We have again from
I'm
California.
sorry, Bante. I'm
Hi.
sorry. I was on mute. I'm so sorry.
Oh yeah,
Namaste.
yeah. How are you?
I've been gone. I've been gone for a while. I've had a few losses since September, and it's been a little heavy for me. So I just had to take some time to meditate and pray, and know that those feelings were impermanent, and I had to deal with that. So being back here today and hearing your talk is just it's so meaningful and helpful for me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You are welcome, Marian. So thank you for joining. And we have Archana Gaden from California again. Hi, Archana.
Vandami Bhante,
How are
good
you?
to. I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Bhante,
Yeah,
for asking.
thank you
So
thank you.
thankful.
Thank you for joining. And
Thanks to you.
yeah, and Mary here. Wilhelm, hi. You muted. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
Oh, you have been here before, right?
Just last couple of weeks.
Yeah. You live in Bronx?
Jersey.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then you can ask me any question when we learn in this sutta. Then we go with this discussion. Today, the things we're going to learn here, kind of detail. Is let's go to the sutta, then we can see what we are learning. Sorry. Okay. Okay, let's homage to the Buddha. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, Worthy One and fully enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. According to the Satipatthana Sutta, now we are learning Dhammanupassana, meditation on Dhamma. So then under this Dhammanupassana, we are learning these days Satya, Dhammanupassana, Satyapabba, according to the truths. How many truths in Buddhism? 3?
4.
4. Do you remember? Do you remember?
Yes, the first is the suffering. Second is the arising and the cause of the suffering. And third is the cessation or the end of suffering. And the last fourth is the way out of the end of the suffering.
Very good. That's called the Satya, Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truths. It's called Chatu Arya Satya. Chatu Arya Satya. In Sinhala we say Chaturarya Satya. There are 4 noble truths. They are noble. Why they call noble truth? Arya Satya, noble truth. Some truths can be made false somehow, right? Some truths can be changed to false. Some truths become changed, become false. It's truth for a while, for a period of time. According to the place or where it is, but this truth is not truth for period of time. These are the truth for this timeless, limitless. Yes, it is. That's why it is called Arya Satya. It is because that's reality. That's the reality. So then last week we learned about the Dukkha Arya Satya, the truth of suffering. Truth of suffering. Last week we learned what is Dukkha is. Right? You remember what we learned about this Dukkha? We learned the Dukkha of birth and decay and the illness, growing old and illness and death. And then the associating with unpleasant ones and the separation from the pleasant ones. and then they happen things what we not want.
Not getting what you want
Yeah, not getting what we want.
and getting what you don't want.
Yeah, losing what we want. Yeah, this is this suffering. And then briefly what? Briefly a suffering of 5 aggregates, right? Briefly suffering of 5 aggregates. Do you remember the 5 aggregates? Panchakanda. What are the 5 aggregates?
Body, feelings,
Form,
perception,
feeling, perception,
mental
volitional formations, consciousness.
Very good. Form, feeling, perception, volitional formations, and consciousness. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. You should learn these Pali terms. You should learn these Pali terms, write down, and keep notes, and repeat them, and go these words. And then you learn English and Pali both. Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. So these are the 5 aggregates, and briefly Buddha mentioned, briefly I say, monks, these 5 aggregates of clinging actually, not aggregates, aggregates of clinging. Rupa, Upadana, clinging to the form, clinging to the feeling, clinging to the perception, and clinging to the volition and the formations, and clinging to the consciousness is suffering. That's what Buddha briefly mentioned. This is included everything into this. What is form? Form is this eyes, nose, tongue, body, and everything. And then today we are going to learn the Samudaya Satya, the arising of suffering. Samudaya literally means arising. Nirodha is ceasing. Samudaya is arising of suffering. The cause of arising, it's called cause of arising, origin of arising of suffering, and the arising of suffering. And then Buddha mentioned here, this is the, actually this that's the Samudaya Arya Satya explaining in the Sutta in a special way. We can see this explanation many other suttas. It's not mentioned in the many other suttas. This is very, very detailed. In this sutta, Buddha explaining this Samudaya Arya Satya, arising of suffering. Why suffering is arising? Katamancha bhikkhave dukkha samudayam arya satyam. Monks, what is the arising of suffering? Or cause of suffering? Then Buddha mentioned, Yayan tanna pono bhavika nandiraga sahagata tatra tatra vinandini sayatidam. Then Buddha mentioned here, there's a tanha, craving. That craving, that tanha, pono bhavika, and make becoming again and again. Birth, make the pono bhavika, prepare and create the becoming again and again. Bhava. Nandiraga sahagata, that craving is the delighting and attachment to here and to there, to this and to that. You see? It's very simple. Very briefly, Buddha explained here. This is the arising of suffering. What are the arising or cause of suffering? It is the craving. It is very craving. What is that craving does? That craving does prepare becoming again and again. That becoming prepare again and again because it is delighting to and attached to this and to that and here and to there. And that's the craving. And that craving explaining here in 3 ways. Kama tanha. This craving for sensual pleasure. And remember 2 other 2 cravings. Bhavatanha, craving for existence, and Vibhavatanha, craving for non-existence. This is how the craving has classified. It has classified in three ways: craving for sensual pleasure, craving for existence. Existence means for eternal life, to enjoy somewhere in eternally without change, and craving for non-existence, and believing this is the one and only life, then enjoy it no matter what. And there are no more becoming. Sorry. Then Buddha explained in here very interesting way. Sako panesa bhikkhave tanha kattu uppajjamana uppajjati katta nivisamana nivisati. O monks, where that craving arising and where that craving existing, establishing. Katta uppajjamana uppajjati katta nivisamana nivisati. Where that craving, if that craving arise, where it is arise. If that craving establishing and settle down, where it is settled down. And Buddha mentioned here, yang loke piyarupan saturupam. Ettesa tanna uppajjamana uppajjati, ettesa tanna nivisamana nivisati. What is the desirable and agreeable, what is pleasant, what is agreeable, desirable, or pleasant in the world. And there the place the craving arising. What is the pleasant to you? And what is the desirable to you? And your craving arise there. What is pleasant? What is desirable? And that's the way, that they are the where craving settling down. Okay? What is pleasant and craving arising there and settling down there. Right? And Buddha explaining what is pleasant to us. And Buddha mentioned here. Kincha loke piyarupam saturupam. Monks, what is the pleasant? What is the Piyarupam means the pleasant, likable, agreeable. So, what is the pleasant thing in the world? Chakku loke piyarupam saturupam. Monks, eye. Eye is a pleasant thing in the world for the people. Right? We love our eyes. Don't you love your eyes? You love your eyes. The women love most their eyes. They keep eyelash. They keep painting. Not painting. They keep decorating the eyes so much. So you have to keep it that way. It's good, looks good. We like it. Keep it that way, that's okay. This doesn't mean you don't have to do that. Okay? It doesn't mean that. You have to keep it staying pretty beauty, right? So the truth is, we, no matter we men or women, we all love to our eyes, because that's how we see the world. Then we want to keep it, protect it. That's we love it. That's the craving arising, because we like our eyes. Then the craving arises in the eyes. And craving settling down in the eyes. This is a subtle explanation about Buddha's subtle explanation about this arising of craving, arising of suffering. So, and monks here, eyes are the pleasant thing in the world for the humans. Then cravings arising in the eyes and settling in there. And then sotang loke pyarupam satarupam. Ears are the pleasant thing in the world, and then craving arises in the ears, and settling the craving settling in the ears, and gahana, nose, and jivha, tongue, kaya, body, and manu, mind, is the pyarupam satarupam. These are the pleasant and agreeable, desirable thing in the world. In there, craving arising and settling down. And then Buddha explaining again. Rupa loke pyarupam satarupam. The forms, whatever you see through the eyes, the forms, beautiful things, are the pleasant. That's the way craving arises. If you see beautiful thing and your craving arises in there. If you see beautiful thing, your craving is settling down in there. You see, your attachment, what is pleasant, you see, your craving or your desiring, your attachment is arising in there and settling in there. Isn't it? You see? Then the craving or attachment arising in here, in the eyes, settling in here. And whatever we see through the eyes, and the craving is arising in there and settling in there. That's why you love beautiful things, we love beautiful things, we won't keep beautiful things. We all take beautiful things around us. So then the beauty, and that's where what is beauty or pleasant, arousing, then the craving arising and settling there. Not only forms we see through the eyes, even the saddha, sounds, what is pleasant, what sounds make you happy, what sounds make you arousing, that's the way craving arising and settling down. All the sounds. Gandha, odors. That's why we use perfumes, spray into our body, into our clothes. The odors. And then rasa, taste. That's the way the craving arising and settling there. What is taste? That we like that so many taste. What is taste? And we like it and we craving it. Then our craving arises in that taste and settling down in that taste. And then the pottab, the touches, tactiles, tangibles. What is pleasant? What is pleasing you? What is make you happy? What is comfortable? What is pleasant? Then craving arising in there and settling down in that touches, you see. And we meditated, right? We meditated our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body. Did you? Meditated to understand reality of the senses. And then we meditated about the senses, impermanent, temporal, right? Subject to change. And whatever we see, external world, and the forms, sounds, odors, taste, and touches, and then Dhamma are impermanent, subject to change. Where the craving arises? In the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. And where the craving arises, even in the forms, sounds, odors, taste, touches, and dhammas. That's the way of craving arising and settling down. Okay. This is the one way, and two ways, and Buddha explaining. And Buddha again explaining, Chakku vinyanan loke piyarupan saturupam ettesa tanna uppajjamana uppajjati ettesa tanna nivisamana nivisati. The eye consciousness is the piyarupan saturupam, agreeable and desirable and pleasant. Eye consciousness. Ear consciousness. Sota vinyanan loke piyarupan saturupam. Ear consciousness. What is the eye consciousness?
What is the eye consciousness?
Yeah, what is the eye consciousness?
It's when you see something and then you and then
Intelligence in the eye.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, when we see something
You
through.
might be looking at something, but it might not be registered in your mind. So you make the connection between the object that you see in your mind.
Perception.
Then you
The
perceive
eye
the object.
sees,
Yeah.
and when it sees, it becomes conscious. There's a consciousness of it seeing,
Mm.
and so we perceive something. That's eye consciousness, I think.
Mm.
Our eye sees,
Mm.
and there's something out there that it sees, and so the consciousness between the seeing and the seen is the consciousness of, I think.
Yes, eye consciousness is the things what you said is right. You all said is right. When we see something, and when our eyes open, when we see something, and that's the knowing about that, knowing the consciousness. What consciousness does, get to know. That's all.
is-
That's the first point. That's the first point consciousness does, is get to know. Knowing something. Vijanatiti vijnana. Vijnana is the consciousness. What vijnana consciousness does is get to know. Knowing. When you see something and you know that, that's the eye consciousness. And then the ear consciousness. When we hear something and we know about the sounds. Very first point, get to know the sound. There are so many processed things, and Buddha explaining in this sutta. That's why he said this sutta is explaining with details this craving arising where. Then the eye consciousness is that knowing. That's very slight knowing about the things, forms called eye consciousness. The knowing arising in the eye. That the craving arising, and that's the craving settling down. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, and keep. What's the next? Nose consciousness and tongue consciousness, and body consciousness, and mind consciousness. This is the consciousness, knowing. This is the very deepest kind of the thing, deeper on the confused, make people confused. This consciousness, and this is the people take like a soul. So many religions in the world take this consciousness as a soul, as a permanent thing, eternal thing. This is the consciousness. This is the consciousness called mind. This is the consciousness called, in Buddhism, called chitta, mano, vijnana. Chitta or mano or vijnana. Mind or consciousness. Whatever it is called. This consciousness, the so many religions take as permanent and eternal, never die. But in Buddhism it's different. And Buddhism say, I is impermanent, right? If I impermanent, do you think consciousness, I consciousness permanent? If I impermanent, then where the consciousness arise in the I, it's impermanent too. The forms are impermanent. Where the consciousness arise, then the actually a consciousness arise in the I. When the I see the form, then consciousness arise through the I. In Abhidhamma explaining that consciousness arise in the through. There's a very subtle thing in the middle of the eyes, very dark, like a dark dot in there. In the consciousness not. That's how we see things. That things, the place the consciousness get to arise. It's get through the process through the eyes, it's go to the brain. Or so there's a lot of process thing like a machine. But the consciousness arise through the eye. Then the I impermanent, then I consciousness impermanent too. And Buddha mentioned here this I consciousness. In the Buddha's time, there was a monk called Sati. That Sati, that bhikkhu, that monk keeps saying, I heard this, I heard this, I heard this. Buddha talked about the consciousness is permanent, consciousness is eternal, consciousness is that's how we keep going to life to life, life to life, life to life, life to life. This is permanent and this is eternal. And then he keeps saying to other monks, I heard this. Buddha taught this consciousness is the reason for existence and this is permanent and eternal. And then monks try to make him understand this is not what Buddha said. And Buddha said impermanent thing. And he didn't accept that. And he rejected that. And he keeps saying, what I heard, what I learned, what I heard, Buddha's teaching, this consciousness is permanent and eternal. And then the monks told to the Buddha, Bhante, that Sati, Venerable Sati, the Bhikkhu Sati have an idea, believing. He heard something, that consciousness is permanent and eternal. Then Buddha sent monks to call to the Sati, come to see me. And then then Sati came to see the Buddha. Then Buddha asked, is that true? You are saying that consciousness is permanent and eternal, going to life to life, life to life. You heard from me? And he said, yes, Bhante, that's true, I said that. And do you know to whom I have taught to this? And he said, no, I don't know to whom you taught to this. Then he was very silent, and Buddha said, you are a mogha purisa, empty person. You are an empty person and you are saying what I am not saying, what I said. You are keep saying what I not said, what I not taught, and you saying something wrong, and then the misunderstand. You took this my teaching in wrong way, and this consciousness is impermanent, temporary thing. Buddha in this come from the Mahasatipatthana Sankhya Sutta. In that Mahasatipatthana Sankhya Sutta, and Buddha explaining very, very detailed, and Buddha going to very, very detailed this. And Buddha said, this consciousness is not arising without reason. Not arising without reason. When reason arises, it is causal. The consciousness is causal. Without cause, without reason, consciousness not arise. whatever is cause, whatever is reason is subject to change. When that cause and reason is changed, consciousness is changed. And Buddha gave a simile in that sutta to understand what is this consciousness is. And Buddha said and explained in that sutta, the consciousness arises in the eye, ears, nose, tongue, body, and these all are impermanent, temporary, subject to change. Then consciousness changed. And Buddha mentioned to understand to this consciousness is not what you think. This consciousness is something like a fire. When the wood burned, and we say that wood fire. When the hay, grasses are burned, and we say that hay fire. When the oil burned, and we say that gas fire, right? And then whatever is the burn, the fire get caught, and we mention that fire by that name: wood fire, gas fire, grass fire, hay fire, leaf fire, tree fire, or whatever it is, whatever the stove fire in the kitchen, whatever it is, whatever the fire get caught, and then we name that. Likewise, consciousness is the same. When consciousness arises in the eye, it's called eye consciousness. When eye consciousness arises in the ear, it's called ear consciousness. When the consciousness arises in the nose, called nose consciousness. And mind, body consciousness, mind consciousness. But these all are the cause and reason. Without reason, without cause, there are no consciousness. And Buddha said, Buddha mentioned in that sutta, Paticca sampannam vo viññānam maya. And Buddha mentioned that I have taught consciousness is causal, reasonable. It's dependent. It's dependent arising, consciousness dependent arising. So this I consciousness, what we learn here, I consciousness, that's the pleasant. That's where the craving arises. Ear consciousness, that's where the craving arises and settling down. Okay. And the same way, and Buddha mentioned in that sutta, Buddha even going into so much details. We should learn that sutta one day when we finish this. And then the Buddha mentioned again, Chakku sampasso loke piyarupan saturupang ette sa tanna uppajjamana uppajjati etta tanna nivisamana nivisati. Eye contact, is that another thing craving arise? Eye contact. What is the eye contact? Anyone remember the eye contact?
Yeah, the I and the forms and the I consciousness, all these three coming together is called as contact.
Right.
And similar with the remaining, like hear, the sound, and the ear consciousness. For the nose, the nose, the smell, and the nose consciousness, and respectively for the remaining.
That's
senses.
three together. That's three together, co-contact, right?
Yes.
Yes, very good. Yeah, that is the contact. Contact is called phassa. That phassa is the chakkuncha paticca rupecha uppajjati chakku viññānam tinnan sangati phasso. I forms, when I meet the forms, then I consciousness arise. When these three together, these three things take to as a one, and that's called phassa, that's called contact. There are no contact without eyes and forms. And there are no contact without eye consciousness, right? As a dead person keep eyes open, he die as eyes open, then he can see. That dead person can see because his eyes open. But there are no eye, not what? Eye consciousness. That dead person has eyes open and he can see the forms, but there are no eye consciousness. Then there are no contact. And that person is ears open, and he can hear people crying and ask him to come back. Don't go, don't leave. Then people keep crying in Sri Lanka when someone dies. When someone dies and we keep saying him, oh, whenever I'm able to, I can see, I'm not able to see you again. Please don't go, come back, come back. I love you so much. Don't go, come back. Don't leave me, come back. Fortunately, if we start to rise, then people got get unconscious, right? But we know he not rising. He not coming back, but we keep saying because we suffer, we love him most. That's the nature we love. We need loved ones not to leave and stay with us, but it's not possible. So then the dead person, even he get cut his body. The people in the mortuary, what's that called, mortuary? The, they prepare the body in the
In the morgue?
in the morgue.
Yeah.
It's called morgue.
Morgue.
Morgue. In the morgue, they cut the body. Even the doctors cut the body for operation and surgeries. So in the dead person get cut body, but he doesn't feel because there are no consciousness. Then this contact arise. I get forms, and eye conscious arise, and these three together call contact. And this the contact, the way craving arising. We need eye contact, we need ear contact, we need nose contact, we need tongue contact, we need body contact, we need mind contact. That's the way of craving arising, and that's the way of craving settling down. Right? And then Buddha explaining again. Chakku sampasaja vedana loke piyarupan saturupang etesa tanha uppajamana uppajjati. The feeling arising when depending on the eye contact. Chakku sampasaja vedana. The vedana depending on the eye contact. Regarding the eye contact. Arising through the eye contact. Whatever feeling arises, and that's the feeling craving arising, and that's the feeling craving settling down. Then we love that feeling, we love that feeling, we crave into that feeling. The feeling arising through the eye contact, feeling arising through the ear contact, feeling arising through the nose contact, tongue contact, feeling arising through the body contact, and feeling arising through the mind contact, and that's the way of craving arising, and that's the way of craving settling down. Right? The feeling. You see, we learn eyes, we learn eye forms, and we learn eye consciousness, and we learn eye contact, and then we learn the feeling arising through that contact. Then craving existing everywhere, right? Arising everywhere in these places. And not only that, and Buddha mentioned Rupa Sanya Loke, Piyarupam Saturupam, perception about that forms. Your memory about that form, is that the craving arising? And is that the craving settling down? Your memories, your recognition about your perception. That's the craving arising and establishing. The Saddha Sanya, the recognition, the sounds you remember, the sound you recognize, the sound, your Saddha Sanya, your perception of sound, is that the craving arising? Is that the way of craving establishing? Gandha Sanya, perception regarding the nose, perception regarding the tongue, perception regarding the body, perception regarding the mind, is that the way of craving arising and establishing. And then Rupa Sanchetana, the volitions the thoughts we create, this is actually called karma, rupa sanchetana. The karma, these are very active now. Now we got the contact and the feeling and the perception. Now we create in the volitions. We produce so many thoughts, whatever the 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 form we see through the eye. And then we had the eye form, eye consciousness, eye contact, eye feeling, then eye perception, and then prepare the volitions, thoughts. And that's the way our craving arising in that volition, in that establishing in that volition. Saddha Sanchetana, the volitions regarding to the ears, volition regarding to the nose, volitions regarding to the tongue, and volition regarding into the body, volition regarding into the mind. Then that's the way our craving arising and establishing and settling down. And then Rupa Tanha, now we craving to the form, Rupa Tanha, now we crave into the forms. Saddha Tanha, and then we crave into the sound. Gandha Tanha, crave into the odors, smell. Rasa Tanha, crave into the taste. Pottabha Tanha, crave into the touches. And Dhamma Tanha, crave into the Dhamma. And that's the way our craving arising in that craving. Craving arising in that very craving. You see, it's become manifesting. Manifesting. The craving is producing more cravings. And then Rupa Vitaku, after craving and keep thinking and thinking and thinking, regarding to the forms, Rupa, we keep thinking, we produce Vitaka. Vitaka means thinking. And Saddha Vitaka, Gandha Vitaka, Rasa Vitaka, Pottabha Vitaka, Dhamma Vitaka. And this all 6 sense bases, depending on the 6 sense bases, and we keep producing so many thoughts. And that's the way our craving arising and establishing. And Rupa Vicharu, ponding on the forms, ponding or consideration. Vichara means keep continuously not let it go, and keep holding and pondering and keep continue of thinking on it. That Rupa Vichara, Saddha Vichara, Gandha Vichara, Rasa Vichara, Pottabha Vichara, Dhamma Vichara. That consideration of pondering to the forms and sounds and smell, taste and touches and dhammas. And they are the craving arising and establishing. And then Buddha explaining, this is the monk arising of craving. Arising of suffering, I'm sorry. Idang uchiti bhikkhave dukkha samudayang ariya satyang. And this is the monk, I say, arising of suffering. Arising of suffering. What is that arising of suffering? Arising of craving. Right? This arising of craving is the arising of suffering. Arising of this craving. Now you know where the craving arises, right? Where the craving arises? Okay, keep saying. Where the craving arises? Craving arises in the eyes, in the forms, and in the ear, in the eye, in the form, and in the eye consciousness. And then, okay, hello? Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, where the craving arises? In the eyes,
The form
and the forms,
and the eye consciousness.
eye consciousness. And then a craving arises in the eye contact.
It's in the eye contact, and then in the feeling,
Eye feeling.
and then it goes to the craving.
Oh, in the feeling, and then the eye perception. Perception regarding the eye, and the feeling, perception, and the volitions, and the craving, and then the thinking, and the thinking and pondering. Right? It's boring? I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that.
No, that's not boring.
Boring. No.
Yeah, then this is the arising of suffering, arising of the suffering and arising of craving the same. And then Buddha explaining, and this is very, we're going to end up this session. And Buddha said, and monks, what is the cessation of suffering? What is the end of suffering? And then Buddha mentioned, okay, yo tassayeva tanhaya asesa viraga nirodho chago patinsaggo mutti analayo. Idam uchiti bhikkave dukkha nirodham arya satyam. What is the cessation of suffering? What is the end of suffering? Cessation and end of is it that very craving. The end of the craving. What is the craving of I? Craving for the I, craving for the forms, craving for the I consciousness, craving for the I contact, craving for the I feeling, craving for the I perception, craving for the I craving, craving for the I thinking, craving for the pondering to it. And end of this craving is the cessation of suffering. You see? And Buddha mentioned that is the arising of suffering is the arising of craving, and cessation of suffering is the cessation of that craving. That's why we meditating I impermanent forms, I impermanent temporary, nothing to attach, nothing to craving, because it is impermanent temporary. And we try to free our mind from that attachment. Because the craving is not attached to I. The craving is not attached to form. The craving is not attached to eye contact. It's arising as we think, as we consider about it. According to our idea, the craving is something is come. And Buddha has the eye. Buddha see the forms, but Buddha's the craving not arising in Buddha's eyes or forms. Buddha see. Even Buddha get the eye contact, but craving not arising when Buddha sees something and get contact. Even when Buddha have feeling, perception, volitions, and Buddha keep vitak and vichara, thinking, but not craving arising in there. But our problem is we get to what is pleasant, what is pure rupa and satarupam, what is pleasant, and we like it, we attach to it. And that's the problem. That's the way our craving arises, and that's the craving settling down. When this very craving is end, not arising, and that's the cessation of suffering. Okay, and that's for today, and then we going to learn next week the path to the end of suffering. Okay, before we end up this session, if you have any question, and we can talk.
Bhante, my friend Alex, his grandmother is at 99 years old. Passed away 2 days ago. So I would like us to hold her in our thoughts. And that would be, her name is Carmen. Carmen Rodriguez. Cortez. Carmen Rodriguez Cortez.
Okay, then let's transfer by meditating, by learning Dhamma, this excellent, amazing, wonderful, beautiful teaching, developing, arising of wisdom, making, awakening, enlightening teaching we learned, and this good karma. By meditating and learning this Dhamma we accumulated, we're going to share these merits with that Carmel Rodriguez Cortez. Carmel Rodriguez Cortez. I'm sorry about that misspelling, and it's with that's mother of the Alex. Carmel share these merits. We all share these merits with her. And then share these merits. These merits goes to her. If she willing to have good merits, share these good merits, and then have a good destination. and you and your family members live happily, peacefully, without any afflictions by these merits and by the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And all these merits go to all your departed ones, and may they share these merits. Deities, ghosts, may those all sentient beings share these merits and have the happy life. And finally, uh, may we all be able to uh, attain to enlightenment. Akasatta Chibummatta Devanaga Mahedika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Sasanang Chirang Rakkantu Desanang Chirang Rakkantu Mang Parang Sabbhitiyo Vivajjantu Sabbarogo Vinasatu Mate Bhavatvantarayo Sukhi Digayuko Bhavatu Sabba Mangalang Rakkantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddhanubhavena Sabba Dhammanubhavena Sabba Sanghanubhavena Sada Suddhi Bhavantu Te. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Bhante.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Not boring.
Okay, that's good. That's
Everyone sarnay.
Teruvan Sarnai.
Everyone sarnay, Bhante.
Teruvan Sarnai, no.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
I'll
Michael, see you.
See you
Okay.
soon.
See you soon. Okay.